Despite what they might say, it is no secret that Take-Two and Rockstar Games hate the modding community. Rockstar, which was once a company that showcased mods on their newswire, has since become a full-on griefer, firing DMCAs at any mod they want without any hesitation, and it's even continued in 2025. So today we will look at all of the mods we've lost over the last few years, and I'll explain why the banning of certain mods will most likely never end. VR as a whole is still very niche, but I would be lying if I said that the technology wasn't at least intriguing. And if I asked you if you could try GTA 5 and RDR2 for example in full VR, most of you would probably give it a shot. Well, this was exactly what a programmer by the name of Luke Ross decided to create. Luke Ross is a programmer well known for making VR mods for games that otherwise wouldn't have it. Some might be familiar with the Cyberpunk mod, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and many more. So in 2020, he decided to make a VR mod for GTA 5 as well as Mafia and RDR2. With well over 200,000 downloads, the mod quickly became one of the most popular add-ons for GTA 5 and is highly regarded in the VR community for being the best VR port of the game to date. However, that was until Rockstar and Take-Two had caught wind of his mod and decided to put an end to it. In July of 2022, Luke Ross was sent a DMCA notice from Take-Two. He was told to take down all the VR mods for Mafia, RDR2, and GTA 5 for supposedly violating their copyrighted works. After this news had broke, Luke Ross stated that he didn't understand why his mod was being taken down, as he believed that nothing in the mod was against Take-Two's modding TOS. But what we didn't know at the time is this was far from the case. Rockstar and Take-Two had kinda pulled a backhanded move. Without even telling the community, Take-Two had updated their modding TOS to essentially give them the right to take down any mod they want without reason. If they don't like the mod, they can get it shut down, no questions asked. And that's exactly what happened to Luke Ross. When the news of this broke, a petition was created with 5,000 signatures to revert the ban on Luke Ross's mod and give developers the right to mod what they want without the looming threat of being taken down.
A lot of these mods, especially the ones on Red Dead Redemption 2 and even in GTA 5, they give you the ability to fix bugs, to fix things that Rockstar never wanted to fix.
That aside, however, the takedown of the VR mod had caused some speculation that GTA 5 could be getting a dedicated VR mode in the future. About 7 months prior to this takedown, Meta had announced they were working with Rockstar on a VR version of GTA San Andreas for the MetaQuest 3. But after years of silence from Meta after the announcement, it was confirmed that the project had been delayed indefinitely, and no such hints have been found that suggest a GTA 5 or RDR2 VR version in the works, meaning they most likely just took this mod down so they can keep the door open for the project somewhere down the line. With the rise in popularity of AI and ChatGPT in the world over the last few years, one developer tried to find a way to take this technology and combine it with GTA 5. The creator, who goes by Block, had created a mod that added a side story you could play as a cop that also added AI-generated responses from your partner and random NPCs. Now, these missions mainly consisted of just talking to NPCs with the AI and handing out tickets as a cop, but it was a still very unique mod. With that said, however, the mod definitely had some problems that Rockstar and Take-Two couldn't ignore. For one, by adding AI-generated responses to a game, you never quite know what you're gonna hear, and if the AI goes crazy saying some outlandish or defamatory statements, that not only looks bad on the developer of the mod, but also Rockstar themselves. The other major problem is the missions. One of the changes that Rockstar made to the TOS without telling anyone back in 2019 is that modders weren't allowed to program new games, stories, missions, or maps. Again, because Rockstar hadn't really announced these changes to the public, it's very likely Block hadn't known that this was against TOS. But either way, Take-Two would pull the plug on Block's AI mod in August of 2023, ending the project forever. Block would go on to write a long post expressing his frustration and distrust for Rockstar and their growing hatred for the modding community. Now you're gonna start to notice a pattern with this video. Whenever a mod is taken down, a lot of people speculate that the reason they do this is because they're planning to do something like this mod in the future officially. And even with this mod, after we did some digging in 2024, the claim has some merit. In January of 2024, it was found that there was a new patent filed from Rockstar that focused around using AI NPCs for GTA 6. Now, it's very likely that the technology isn't the exact same. Nothing in the patent indicates them using this technology for dialogue, as it more focuses on navigation rather than narration. So, whether or not Rockstar has plans to add something like this in the future, we will have to wait and see. Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories were standalone games originally released for the PSP in 2005 and 2006 respectively, and then later ported to the PS2. Both of these games are regarded as being very well liked and almost like GTA's hidden gems. However, as time went on, PS2s and PSPs especially became harder to come by. So, a modding team wanted to make these games playable on the PC for newer gamers. All the way back in 2010, the Liberty City Stories PC edition was released, and 3 years later, the Vice City Stories mod was also introduced. The mod was a good way of almost keeping an archive for these classic games and giving basically anyone with a PC access to play them. These games would stay publicly available for nearly a decade with periodic updates to keep it running well. But seemingly out of nowhere in 2021, the mods were taken down without a word on if they'd return. Well, it turned out that in July of that year, Rockstar had gone on a tirade against the modding community, doing the largest mod banning spree in GTA history, and the PC version of LCS and VCS were a part of this ban. Now, a sane thinking person would believe that Rockstar would take these mods down back in 2017 when they were going to release them on mobile phones. But no, almost 4 years after that, and nearly 10 years since the mod's launch, they are now pulling the plug on these old remasters. Something wasn't quite sitting right with the community on why they would do this. But just 3 months later, we would figure out exactly what Rockstar's motives were behind these bans. Now, before we talk about these motives, we need to cover a type of mod that Rockstar seems to hate more than most, and those are remasters. PC remasters of old GTA titles have always been a fan favorite in the community. These mods are often created with love by the developers who want to make a more modern version of an already amazing game, and one that a lot of people have nostalgia for. Mods like Vice Cry and San Andreas Remastered featured enhanced graphics, mechanics, extra weapons, and overall improvements, with some of these mods being available to download since 2013. Or at least, they were. Like I'd already mentioned, 2021 was a dark year for the modding community. Within the same week, Rockstar had taken down over 10 of the most popular mods in the GTA community. There was GTA 5 Bulworth, which brought the bully map into GTA 5, there's Vice V, which brought Vice City into GTA 5, and the most popular of them all, GTA Underground. This mod was an ambitious and highly anticipated mod that was going to bring every 3D era map into one game. And I say going to because it was hit with a DMCA by Take Two just months before it was officially set to release. The takedown of all these mods had reached widespread media attention, with thousands of fans outraged at why Rockstar would take them down now. It sparked a huge conspiracy about an official remaster potentially being in the works. And, as we all know by now, just 3 months later, that's exactly what Rockstar was doing. Rockstar announced the GTA Trilogy The Definitive Edition in October of 2021, and the community quickly understood what was going on. That initial outrage from the community quickly turned to hype for these new games. And I don't think I even have to mention what comes next. as these remasters would end up becoming the worst rated Rockstar project of all time. I don't even have to explain to you just how bad these remasters were, as you can go online and find a ton of footage that does that justice for me. So not only did fans not have access to well-made and beloved remastered mods they had been using for years, but on top of that, Rockstar had halted sales on the original releases of those games and was charging people $80 for their terrible remaster. Jokes aside, however, these events had turned a lot of people away from the GTA modding scene, including a well-known modder by the name of Silent, who's well known for his patches and improvements of old games. Silent was outspoken against Rockstar after the release of these remasters and vowed to mostly leave the modding community after this disaster. Now, to give Rockstar credit where credit is due, it had taken a few years, but these games did eventually start to win the hearts over of most fans after being fixed for about 3 years. But to the modding community, the damage had been done. And this philosophy from Take-Two hasn't changed even today. In January of this year, the Liberty City Preservation Project was released and became an instant hit in the community. Almost every YouTuber and streamer were doing challenges and exploring arguably the best mod that GTA 5 has ever seen. Now, surprisingly, what a lot of people don't know is that this mod was originally supposed to be released all the way back in 2017. The original mod was going to be exactly like what we got in 2025, but Take-Two had caught wind of it before its release, and they quickly pulled the plug on the whole project. Not only did they go after the Liberty City map mod, but they also threatened to sue OpenIV at the same time, the program used to read, change, and modify files in all modern GTA games. As a quick change of pace for every other mod in this video, this was a fight that the modding community had actually won, and they were able to keep OpenIV running indefinitely. But in exchange, they lost the Liberty City mod. And it seems as though that history would repeat itself 7 years later when Rockstar banned the Liberty City Preservation Project again on January 14th, less than 2 weeks after its launch. And while that is already sad enough, it seems that Take-Two wasn't done with taking down big mods. While researching for this video, I came across a project of people attempting to remaster and port Vice City into GTA 4. But while I was editing the video, the trailer for the project was once again taken down by Take-Two, and it seems that the entire project will meet the same fate. And unfortunately, that is where the sad history of GTA's banned mods comes to an end. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.